Hello everybody, I'm Damon Wilson and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I want to tell you first of all that I really appreciate your following, and if you really like what you're seeing, click like and subscribe and let your friends know. Maybe it can be a blessing to someone else as well. So I wanted to talk to you all a little bit about kind of how this all kind of came into being. I decided that I wanted to build my very own man cave, toy box, automotive wholesale dealership, all kind of wrapped into one. And what happened is that my regular business, The Perfect Performance, as a result of COVID, flipped entirely upside down. My business was one in which I traveled all over the country, working with high school teachers and students on theater arts and speech and debate. And I also did a lot of curriculum development, etc. And I was literally on the road. Out of a month, I was at home maybe sometimes 3 or 4 days a month. And the rest of the time, I was traveling everywhere, meeting myself, kind of coming and going. And so when COVID happened and all schools were shut down all across the country, it was, to say the least, devastating, discombobulating, and I didn't know where life was going to head. And I remember that I was in bed one night and I was listening to the president of Starbucks. And for whatever reason, he was talking about the fact that they said at this time that we were having an economic downturn. I believe it was in 2008. And they said, you know, you're shutting down many of your Starbucks stores. And what are you going to do? And he said that in times in which I find that things are at their worst, those are the times where you dream bigger. And so I had to think about that. And I had to think, you know, if there was never a better time to finally follow my dreams, now is it. Clearly, everything is shut down. Clearly, the universe is telling me it's time to go another direction. And so I decided to follow that. And it's scary. When you are going for your dreams, when you are going for the things that God has put in you, it's a frightening journey because you really and truly cannot see your way clearly. And so in this next clip, it was a day in which I pulled up and I was going to talk about business and how to build the dealership and how to file all of the paperwork and all of the muck that it takes to become a dealer. But instead, my instincts told me that what people needed to really hear was about their own instincts, was about following their heart. That people are in a place, and I think even still right now, of going, how in the world do you reinvent yourself? Especially when you may think that your best days are behind you. How do you make it so that actually your best days are now in front of you? And so hopefully this video will be something that speaks to you, or this video spoke to you in a way in which it will help you to be able to chase your dreams, to trust your own instincts, to trust yourself, to dream bigger, even when it looks like everything around you is going down. I think that that's really and truly the moment in which God really lifts us up to our highest places in our lives. Okay, Facebook family, hopefully you all can see me and hear me this time, okay? I'm trying this video because there's some things that have been on my heart, and I'm not going to be done with it until I can get this off of my chest, because I really do think that this is going to help somebody, all right? So what I was talking about is that I wanted to talk about business and about the starting your business the right way. But instead of that, before I can even start talking about doing your business the right way, I have to kind of deal with what's in your heart first. And what came to me today was by faith. And so I wanted to talk about that. So the Bible says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And then the Bible goes on to talk about by faith on the things that people were able to see happen in their life when they had no idea on what their path was going to be, what was going to happen next. I feel like that right now in our lives, because of this pandemic and because of so many things that have been going on, that we are in a place in our lives where we don't necessarily see our way clearly. When COVID happened, as I talked about in my last video, literally my whole entire business was shut down. When you spent 20 plus years building something nationwide, working with people all over the country, and suddenly that goes down from abundance to zero, that is a very disconcerting thing. As an artist, it is absolutely disconcerting as a person, and it is mind-boggling and crazy as a business owner. And so you literally find yourself lost. And for a while there, what I did not realize is slowly but surely, depression had begun to creep in on me. And it began to get hard to get out of bed. I began to disconnect from a lot of people. I found myself in a very dark place because usually I've always had my art to run to whenever I've been sad or depressed, or, if there was nothing else that I had my art as a way of being able to take the burden off of my chest. And I didn't even have that. There was nobody to act in front of. There were no kids to direct. It was just COVID and pandemonium and watching people die and pass and watching people try to survive and live. And it was a rough time for all of us. And so what I have found for me, the thing that finally got me out of my funk, and I guess maybe this is for all of you all that are finding yourselves in that funk, in that dark place, in that not knowing how to get out of a place where you don't really know where you're going to next, is that I have found that by faith, I've been able to get out of that. Well, what exactly does that mean? That means that I have to have another dream. I have to be able to see something ahead of me, to have something to hope for, something that's bigger than me, that's ahead, that I can look to go, okay, I'm not there yet, but I can't stay where I was, because to stay where I was, I would die in that place. But I'm not to the place where I'm gonna be yet. So I'm in the midst of the transition. But the faith, the substance of things hoped for, the faith is what brings about the hope, because you start to sense that even though I'm not where I'm gonna be, and even though I'm surely not where I was, there is a sense of joy or expectation or hope or happiness that begins to happen, because you can start to see that I'm not going to die in this place that I'm in, because I can start to see or sense that there is something ahead that is calling me out of this dark place into the light. And that is so important, that you have that sense of faith to know that there is something better coming for you. I have found that anything great that I've ever done in my life has been by faith. I have never known how it was really all going to turn out. I just sensed that the greater thing was ahead, And I've had to follow it, not by sight, but by feeling and by instinct of what was in me to be able to feel my way through, almost like somebody who's blind, feeling their way through in order to be able to get to that place of light in my life. So what I'm telling you all is this. If you are in that place right now because of COVID, that you can't do what you used to do, and you don't know what you're supposed to do next, don't let money be your motivator. Money is the end result. Here's what I mean by that. I've always told my students that were going to speech tournaments, stop worrying about if you're going to win the tournament at the end of the day. Or my teachers who were going to one-act play contests, stop worrying about the fact of if you're going to win at the one act. Because the winning has nothing to do with the work. The winning is the byproduct. But the work, what is the greater good behind whatever it is that you want to do? Find the greater good in that. How will what you are thinking about doing be a blessing to other people? How will it help somebody else? And what I find is that the more and more you think about how your dream, how your instincts will make this world a better place, will make your community a better place, will make your school a better place, the more and more people will pay you for that. You don't have to worry about if the business is going to succeed if it's the thing that is going to be the greater good for all involved, not just about you. It's just like whenever I would direct a one-act play, I just was focused in on how do we tell the best story? How do we be the best actors that we can be? How can I be the best director that I can be? How can this moment be greater? And finding those moments along the way in the journey with business, with acting, with life. What is the greater good? So if you're thinking to yourself, my goodness, that dream is impossible, maybe that's perhaps the very thing that you should be doing. If you're thinking to yourself, how in the world could I ever achieve that? That should be the thing perhaps that you should be doing. If other people laugh at your dream, maybe that's the very thing that you should be doing. So you all heard, I've bought a building. That's true. But the reality of it is do I have all of the resource to bring that building into the fruition of what I see in my mind and what I know that it should be? I absolutely do not. But here's the deal. I've never had the resources. When we built the NIETOC, we didn't have the resources. When I started the program at Creekview High School, we didn't have the resources. When I bought my first house, I didn't have the resources. And when I bought my house in Mississippi, I didn't have the resources. But somehow a way was made because I stepped out there on faith because I had a dream. And that dream was about the greater good than just about the result. And so I'm telling somebody out there, and I don't know who it is that I'm talking to, but you're in a dark place. You're feeling depressed. You don't know, you don't see your way out. Dream your way out. Dream bigger. Let go of what you had and start celebrating on what's ahead. Because what's ahead of you is greater than what was behind you. And what you will begin to see is that everything that you had and everything that happened behind you, you're going to need all of those experiences in order to bring you into the new life that you have in front of you. And so don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of your dreams. Don't doubt your instincts. Trust your instincts. That's where your faith is. Your faith will always send instructions to your instincts. It's up to you to believe and to trust in those instincts. My instincts sent me the message about buying that building. My instincts sent me the message about NIETOC. My natural brain was like, oh, I don't think so. That's crazy. Oh, well, where are you all going to get the money to do that? Oh, well, how are the resources going to happen for that? Oh, how in the world could this possibly happen? And what I'm telling you is build your business on faith. And if you ever want to know where to find that faith, look to your instincts, because faith is always sending instruction into your instincts. I hope that was a blessing to you. As I told you in the very beginning of all this journey takes many twists, many turns, many unexpected, wonderful, and tragic things happen along the way. But if you like what you saw, click like and subscribe, and be sure to share it with other people. God bless you. See you soon.